Ethereum is looking much different than Bitcoin, namely because its daily 10 EMA has had a bullish cross, a pretty bullish cross actually, above its weekly 10. That means the bulls are starting to win the midterm time frame war. This is a weekly 10 EMA and a daily term time frame. And when the white goes below red, the bears are in control for just trying to mix these time frames. And so for the mixture of these time frames, it's at the tipping point. Yes, they're pretty much together. Does the cross exactly mean, yay, the bulls win the war? No, because sometimes that's exactly when things turn around. If you study EMAs and bullish and bearish crosses, a lot of times what you'll see is, yeah, a bullish cross like, so one EMA is down here and another EMA is creeping up and catching up with it, and you get a bullish cross and right then, boom, price spikes up. Yeah, that's the perfect squeeze play. However, a lot of times the way those same two EMAs could play out is that it looks bullish, and the price squeezes up right there, but what actually happens on the EMA, it just comes up to kiss it and goes right back down. Something like that. It just comes up to kiss it. But in order to come up to kiss the EMAs to kiss, so let me make this a different color, like yellow. So the yellow catches up, and yes, price does spike up right at the squeeze, but it only does that so it can bring up the yellow to touch this, and then it all heads back down. That happens a ton, right? So squeeze plays can have fake outs. And at the exact time that, that this crosses, if it starts going horizontal, it's increasing the chance that that's all that's happening. Is it's just coming up to kiss it before it heads back down. And this was all a fake out. So keep that in mind. This is at the tipping point, but the cool thing about that is, on the Bitcoin / traditional market video that I just did, or the first portion of this live chat, the SPX, which will either make Bitcoin really pump, which would make that 17.5 the bottom, or it's going to break down, making Bitcoin go below 10K most likely. It's also at the precipice. So Ethereum and SPX are on the precipice. Like something has to happen soon, within 14 days or so. But Bitcoin has plenty of room just to chop around. So that's the cool thing about Ethereum, and maybe not forgetting about looking at Bitcoin in general, but this could be a better chart to look at for overall crypto direction, and the idea that Ethereum is technically leading this rally. It's definitely the rally leader. So not only is it the rally leader and not Bitcoin, but it's better paired with what I feel, and you might want to feel that way too, with even a better signaler, which is traditional markets. It's better paired with it. So just keep that in mind, especially if you're an altcoin fan and you're dealing with altcoins. Looking at Ethereum might be better than comparing it with Bitcoin. I don't say that too often, but Ethereum is the leader right now. So again, the white line is the daily 10. The red line is the weekly 10. And it's this simple. Now that they are together, they're going to create a strong zone. And that strong zone is going to act as resistance if price goes below there, keeping it that simple. So I challenge on Ethereum, if you could only, look at two different things, literally just pull up the daily 10 and the weekly 10. And for now, if price is above, generally good. If price is below, look for a rejection, in that box. And if it does get rejection, you're getting ready to scream down. That's it. Now, of course, I have origin lines on here, which have come into play heavily. I mean, here. And I had this origin line here. It goes back way in time. Had this here before these ever happened. So for new viewers, don't think I just made a line here because of these. No, my line was here. This line was here before. So these wicked up to touch my line, right? Because that's what whales do. They look at my videos and they look where my lines are, and they make price go all the way to there, right? Every time. That's why this is such a great channel, because the whales are watching me now. No, but the line just works. These origin lines work. They attract price up to them, and they can attract price down to them. I was being facetious, sorry. So we have other things in play, like these origin lines here. So an easy pump up. You got overhead resistance yet again. But within this zone, origin line to origin line, I mean, just focusing on these two, you could keep analysis of Ethereum even simpler than Bitcoin because Bitcoin has plenty of room to do fake out stuff, but the implications of price movement on Ethereum is much more severe because of this. So any time that this is used as a resistance is a much bigger deal for overall crypto price than if Bitcoin were to hit its head on something because it's just floundering around anyway, and you don't have this cross, and these EMAs aren't together. And it's in a range that is pretty big without something, deterministic like this. And that's it. I mean, keep it. I told you I was going to keep this simple. If above, then you have a decent chance of continuation. But clear overhead resistance, sure. But in general, it's in good shape. It's not at risk to fall immediately. You're not going to have a flash crash necessarily. And I can't guarantee that. So Kosa said no flash crash. Boom. It could happen. But usually, I would say if there were some type of crash, you would see this come below. And let me get rid of this box. And let me draw just these EMAs together, for example, like this, just kind of together. You would see price before a big drop. It would go below it and then use it as resistance, maybe even twice, and then start breaking down. It's not just going to break down from here, right? So this is a safety net, essentially, or a trampoline, or however you want to use it, and just use the trampoline, these two origin lines, and you have the general direction for Ethereum. And honestly, if Ethereum ends up using this as a rejection, I think the origin line down here, so if it got there pretty fast, right? So let's say it started breaking down quickly. Let me make myself small. It would be around it would be around this freaking horizontal. It would be about there. So that would actually line up perfectly. But if these two EMAs are used as resistance, this stuff here, like all this bouncing around this horizontal, that's not going to hold at price. It could make price bounce, but not reverse. So if you got a rejection from these EMAs and it came down here, yeah, you can get a bounce, but it's likely going to go down and touch this line and this horizontal. It's in general, this structure right here on Ethereum, going back from July 18th to July 24th, this is not going to hold up price if Ethereum uses these two as resistance. You could get a bounce from this area, but this will not hold it up under the conditions that these EMAs are used as resistance. Your target would definitely be closer to $13,060 to $1,360. And that would be the implications of downside movement and the shapes and forms it could take on its way down. Now, a move up on Ethereum could be pretty severe. I think I covered the upside targets already. Yeah, I did. I'm going to go to the 30-minute chart. I can't remember the full-on analysis, but a lot of times Ethereum just goes from one origin line to the next. And because this top zone here is its own type of strong resistance, I almost think that Ethereum could bust through that to touch this origin line and go all the way up to 2,300. Am I saying that this is probable? No. What I'm saying is I'm identifying the boundaries of reason for the bullish cases of if there's a next move up. So let me say that in more layman term, more intelligently. I didn't say that very well. If there's another leg up, this is probably as high as it'll go until it pulls back. That's it. 2,300, it's very unlikely that it would go over 2,300 before a strong pullback. Could this be the bull market and all that? Yeah, probably not. But I mean, it could. But that's as high as it's going to go before it slows down. And it could just take its time to get up there. Like it might just keep making lower. It might not race up there, but it would probably correct pretty hard after that. Do I think 2,300 is the target? No, not necessarily. But you would have essentially this whole area down here, which is from a previous price action. Let me get my head out of the way. Your whole zone between 1920 and 2100, that price would probably race up to there should you get a breakout above this origin line. It's going to race up to 1900. Like it's going to go pretty fast. I don't think this stuff's going to stop it because that's what it was already tested. This formation over here, because it already just got tested. So the next leg up, it's going to be minimum 1920 and maximum 2300 before price has to correct and then potentially try higher. But I think that would be very unlikely. But it could happen. And so that's what we got for Ethereum. And again, if you did not check out my Bitcoin analysis, because you're jumping on this call late or you're only watching this Ethereum recording, my Bitcoin video from today did include some important implications of the stock market, potential signal for a massive move down within the next 14 days. So make sure you check that out. And that's your Ethereum analysis for Tuesday, August 2nd.